Part 2.
Yeah, welcome back to Pillow Talk by myself, Mike.
And Jess.
And we're going to continue where we left off from last week's. So I guess you can say this is part 2 of Jess's DV relationship. So I think, where was we last time?
So we left off at the cheating allegation. Quite near the beginning of.
Yeah.
Not near the beginning of the relationship, but once I'd had.
He'd taken a girl to Orsett, so they had to a pub in Orsett.
We had that one, and then we had the clubbing one. So he got a girl's number clubbing.
Oh yes, where he blamed the bouncer for.
Yeah.
Passing
so
on
would
the
you
number.
like to hear another?
Yeah. Okay.
Another story?
So just to recap then, so he'd gone out clubbing. He'd pretended that he'd got a girl's number, and he'd obviously got a girl's number, but then pretended that the bouncer had given his number, and then he'd obviously messaged you or something to say that I'd done it all just to split you up, blah blah blah.
Yeah, made a fake story up. And
yeah. So what happened
managed
after?
to convince me that it was true.
So what happened after that then? How did you believe the text message that you got then?
I never really believed it, no. There was always a niggle in the back of my mind that said, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
But, again, there was, no real evidence. And in my mind, I was like, how can I leave someone without pure evidence? But I'd always say to him, if I find out, pure evidence, I'll be gone.
Yeah.
But I felt like there was never enough. And then in the back of my mind, I was like, he really convinced me that people were jealous and that's what people wanted to do was split us up. So in my mind,
believe that?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I did actually believe that.
Christ, yeah.
But I just thought, if I leave him and then it was just because jealousy, then I'd be the idiot.
Yeah, true.
So it was a really difficult situation.
So how did that sort of then fizzle out then? Because obviously this has all happened. You don't just forget it.
Yeah, and I never forgot it.
Yeah.
And I just sort of had to get on with it. But none of them things ever left my mind.
Yeah.
I just worked through it with probably feeling more depressed every single time that situation was.
And when was this? So at what sort of timeline point was this in your relationship?
This was around 6 months, when my daughter was 6 months old.
Okay, so about 6 years, she was about 6 months old, this all happened then?
Yeah.
Okay, so, after this then, what happened after this point?
So then another, incident that I really, remember was that he went out to a nightclub in Billericay.
Yeah. Billericay?
Yeah, it was Ivy Rooms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one you mean, yeah.
So he'd gone out and it was a sort of older person's night. So he'd gone there and he had rung me at 3 o'clock in the morning saying, I've been arrested and that my phone is going to be off. They've only let me have one phone call, but I've been caught up in a fight, and literally my phone's going to be off.
Right, okay.
I was fuming.
Was you awake?
No, well, yeah, because I would sit up all night. I'd sit up all night. I wouldn't be able to rest if he went out.
Okay.
I just had them bad feelings inside of me every time he went out, so it would just.
And how often was he going out when she was born?
Every weekend.
So when she was born, he was still going out every weekend?
Yeah.
Really? Every weekend?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So she's 1 month, 2 months, he's still just
going out.
On the clubbing scene?
Yeah. Not giving it up, yeah, just carried on. Yeah, so he's gone out. So then I rung his phone back and it was off. And I was seething, I was literally fuming. I was thinking, I just didn't believe it at all, straight away. So I sat there for a little while and I thought, I'm going to ring every prison holding cell in Essex. And I rung every prison holding cell in Essex. And yeah, he wasn't in any of them.
So how many did you ring? Can you remember?
I would say every one I could possibly ring.
Really?
Yeah.
And what did you say?
I felt like, even to the point where this woman...
How long did that take?
Quite a while, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I was arrested. And then in the morning I rang my mum and I told her the situation, and we was getting married. Like, so at this point I was going to marry him in like a month or 2 time as well.
Right, okay, so we've finished this, but we need to go back because how did he propose? How did this happen?
Do you want to ring? There's literally no conversation on the proposal. It literally was like, oh, do you want to wear this?
So talk me through that. So where was you? How did this happen? How was the engagement? How did this come about?
We was on the way back from his friend's house. He had bought me some ring and he just went, oh, do you want to wear this?
Where was you?
In the car.
In the car?
Yeah, driving back from his friend's house.
Driving, so mid-drive?
Mid-drive.
Right.
That was it.
What did you say?
Yeah.
Every girl's dream to be proposed in mid-drive of the car. Was you happy? Like, was
not really. It was just a disappointment again. But I felt like I was so like invested into that relationship by that point. I had a child with him that I guess I just thought, oh, I suppose it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. So he's proposed to you. So how? At what age was your daughter when he proposed to you?
It was before I had her.
Oh, before you
I think it was before I had her. I think it was when I was pregnant.
Oh, really? So at what point was you pregnant?
I literally don't remember.
No.
It was that unimportant.
Yeah.
It sort of like doesn't even register in my mind anymore.
So you've been engaged, let's say, 8 months, 9 months at this point then?
Yeah.
By the time... what story was you saying? Where was you going with this before you got engaged?
You frame me.
Through you because you just threw out that you was engaged without even telling us this at this point. That's
yeah, I just felt like the engagement was like there was no point of there was no story in it.
Yeah.
For the fact that I was getting married in like 2 months' time, so I rang my mum and she came round.
Oh, this is it. You were talking about the prison holding cells.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah. So my mum came round in the morning. He still was not home.
What time was this?
This was like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I'm just literally sitting there, seething, just waiting for my phone to ring and for him to call me, and he finally called me, and I said to him, I just didn't believe him at all straight away. So I said to him.
So what did he say when he rung you then? What was his? Can you remember what his first words were? What was your first words?
Pretty much, oh, I'm out now.
Yeah.
And I said, like, where are you? Like, I was just angry. Like, where are you? And I said to him, oh, let me pick you up from the prison, like wherever you are. And I said to him, I know that you weren't in. I said to him, I know you weren't in a prison cell because I'd rung every holding cell. I told him I rung every holding cell in Essex.
Mm.
So his comeback to that was, all the Essex prison cells were too full, so they took me to the Metropolitan one. So he had an answer for absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And so quickly as well. That it was just like, my mind would just go, oh, like, am I wrong then? Like, am I just being over protective? Am I just this crazy person? There's so many questions would roll around my head. So I said to him, let me pick you up. And then he was like, no, I've already left.
Yeah.
So again, then there was no evidence. There was nothing I could get from it.
How was he getting home from there?
His friend picked him up.
His friend picked him up?
Yeah.
Do you remember
like,
how
you would call me, wouldn't you? I'd be your first port of call if that happened to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know any friends that would. Well, I know friends that would do it, obviously, but I wouldn't be asking my friends to pick me up.
No, you'd want me to, and I'd want to pick you up as well. And it just was weird. And then I said to him, I was really on the fence at this point with how I felt about that situation. So I said to him, I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
And he said to me, well, if you're not going to marry me, then we'll split up.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like, okay, well, I'm not ready to split up with you either, so I'm just going to have to marry you.
It's a big deal, though, isn't it? To just agree to marry someone.
Yeah. But, like, it was like, it never meant anything to him because he just had the money to do it without fault.
Yeah.
So it was like, I didn't have to spend anything. But yeah, it was just something for him to spend his money on. Something to waste his money on. Don't know why he bothered wasting his money.
How much was the wedding, do you remember?
Probably about 10 grand.
Not much then?
No, it wasn't like a big, huge wedding. It was like, when we booked it, it was like half price, and like everything was.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I say 10 grand's not a lot. It is a lot of money, but for someone who was doing what he was doing and being flash with everything, 10 grand isn't a big wedding considering he was flash.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I expect you to say 30.
Yeah.
But
so within all of this, our house got raided.
So when did this get raided?
So our house got raided when our daughter was 6 months old.
Yeah.
And when that house got raided, they were obviously looking into investigating him even more because obviously they found steroids and the drugs that they wanted to find from him. So
where were they?
Where were the
yeah.
They were just in the conservatory, like in a.
Was there a lot?
Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah.
How much would you say there was?
I think they found £500,000 worth of. Yeah.
£500,000 worth.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's so much.
So, like, coming back to the story of him marrying me, 10 grand was nothing because if he had a wife, it's going to make his sentence less.
Yeah.
So
Why would it make his sentence less?
I don't know, but he seemed to think that if he had a wife and that I was pregnant and that he'd had a child, that his sentence would be less. So after we got married, he wanted to get me pregnant again.
Yeah.
Which I did. I ended up pregnant again after.
But so we'll just park that for 1 minute because we've gone from 6 months to, so you were getting married 2 months after. So your daughter was 6 months old, and you were so when you married, your daughter would have been around 8-9 months old.
Around a year she was by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So your house. Let's touch on the house raiding, because that's something that doesn't happen often.
No.
I've never had my house raided.
No, not many people have had their house raided.
No. So what was that like? Talk to me about that.
It was so scary.
Did you have any inkling that this was happening?
No, not one single inkling. So it was around probably about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And
was you all there?
Yeah.
Was he there?
Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he had no clue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had not one single clue. It was quite funny because he'd gone to the door with he didn't have anything on and he'd just grabbed a pillow.
Naked?
Just grabbed a pillow. Yeah, he was naked when they arrested. Yeah, when they got him.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So what happened then?
So at around 5 o'clock in the morning, literally our door that was it. Like the door came in.
Did they kick the door down?
Yeah, kick the door down. Literally. Please.
God, what was that like? Did you wake up to that?
Yeah, I was just absolutely freaked out.
Yeah.
Absolutely freaked out. I thought, fuck, I knew why they was there. Then I had a policeman in. They were literally going through everything.
Yeah.
I was in the bedroom. They'd separated me and him, and I was with our daughter in the bedroom, and they took him away straight away. He was gone.
Oh really?
Yeah. They made him get dressed, and he was gone, taken away straight away.
Into the car then.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many police were there?
About 10.
Yeah.
And it was only a bungalow, so
10
policemen in your bungalow is. So I was in the bedroom and I remember they made me get dressed, and I had a policeman literally watching me get dressed, a woman.
Yeah.
And then they got me to sit in the living room, and they were just chatting away to me like normal, and the policeman had said to me, we know you're not involved, we've read his messages.
Mm.
So I think they had, by whatever they were doing to look into him, they had seen that the way he treated me.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it saved me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what did they say? Can you remember anything they said to you when you were sat in the living room?
I remember having one conversation with the policeman, and he was talking about growth hormone.
Right.
And he was saying that, I can't remember what he said. He was saying something about what's in it, like, and sometimes there's like really gross stuff in it. Like if it's not legit.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but yeah.
Nice.
That was the only conversation I ever remember having with whoever arrested him.
Yeah.
Or whoever was sitting there with me. And then they just left the house like in an absolute mess, like no door, nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How was your daughter with all of this?
She didn't even know it happened.
No. Well,
No.
obviously she's young anyway, but
Yeah.
was she...
Not in any way phased.
No, just, this is normal.
Yeah. Just didn't know what was going on. Yeah, just loads of people around.
So they just left.
They just left.
And what did you do once they left?
Then I had no phone, nothing.
So they took your phone?
They took my phone, they took my laptop, they took everything.
Oh, really?
Absolutely everything. I don't actually remember what I'd done at that point.
How long were they there for before they found what they were looking for?
Oh, very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they was there for about 2 hours, I reckon, though. I was
Yeah.
sitting there with them for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I don't remember how I then got in contact with anyone.
No.
No.
Yeah. So
Such a blur.
can you remember anything that happened? So after they've left, like, what do you do in all that turmoil? Like, your house has been
I'm
turned
crying. I'm obviously embarrassed because the
Yeah.
whole street obviously obviously you'd know if a house got raided down your road, wouldn't
5
you?
o'clock in the morning.
5
though,
o'clock in the
like, you're
morning.
gonna know.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear it, and
Yeah. But no, I don't. It's a lot of things are blurs, to be honest.
Yeah. What? So do you remember tidying up or anything like that? You don't remember any of that?
No.
When did you then hear from him next?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, I don't. I really. It's such a. It's like it goes into your head and just leaves you. So no, I don't remember any much more after that, other than like what actually happened at that time.
Yeah. Can you remember what your mum said or your mum thought? Like, did you tell your mum?
Yeah, I told my mum. Yeah,
What
they
did she-
pretty much knew what was going on anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, by that point, I'd sort of told her.
What did she think about it then?
I suppose it's what everyone thinks. Oh, it's steroids. Like, they don't really see. I know a lot of people say, like, if I'd said at the time, like, oh, he got arrested, and it was like, and I say, oh, it's steroids, people are like, oh, can you get arrested for that?
Really?
Yeah, so that a lot of people, there's no understanding of it. So
Yeah.
if
Because
I said,
it's illegal to sell, but it's
Yeah.
not illegal to take.
yeah,
So
so,
you can be caught with personal use steroids and
Yeah.
be completely fine.
but I think it was the fact that it was, such a huge,
Well, £500,000. So
yeah.
it's a bit difficult to claim personal.
Yeah.
This is my personal stash for the next 40 years. Okay, so your house has been raided.
So now we should go back to the wedding.
So, but did anything happen between, I guess, say 6 months and then the wedding then? Or do you
Oh,
go
loads
to-
of stuff would have happened, but not stuff like these are the only points that I am saying are the ones that really stand out in memory,
Yeah.
because so much happened in such a short space of time that my life was like a whirlwind with him. So yeah, all the other stuff, there'd have been daily stuff going on.
Yeah.
There was always a drama, like always. There was never a day that it was just nice.
Really? One of my questions was going to be that, was there any good times? Was there any good moments during that relationship that you can recall that you think that wasn't bad?
Going to the football,
Yeah.
that was the only time that I recall that I enjoyed.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
anything else at all? So just
No.
how often would you go to the football?
Probably every weekend.
Every weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least there was something then that sort of kept you happy. I
Yeah.
guess. How was he during the football?
Yeah, good. Like, I feel like it was like there was nothing else around. There was no phones.
Yeah.
You're very invested in the game, aren't you?
Yeah.
So it was just like, it was just sort of like maybe a getaway, like a bit of an escape. from like reality.
Mm.
But yeah, other than that, no, just go back to life and it'll just be, yeah, back to normal.
Yeah. So was there anything big that happened between the house raid and the wedding? Can you remember what happened to him, like in terms of what the police said to him, or what the outcome was of that raid?
So the outcome of that raid is further along the field.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
let's move closer then, I guess, to the wedding then.
Yeah.
How was that lead up to the wedding? Those last sort of final weeks.
I don't remember.
Do you remember?
If you ask me anything about the wedding, I don't remember.
Do you remember anything like planning?
No, there was no planning. It literally was like, obviously I got my dress. I remember, the only thing I remember is getting married and thinking, is this what marriage is? Like, if this is a wedding, it's not exciting.
Yeah.
Like, it was shit, to be honest.
Yeah.
There was nothing romantic, nice, like nothing coupley involved in that wedding at all. It was just literally like, yeah, we got married. And that was it. No
Yeah.
honeymoon.
You didn't have a honeymoon?
No, nothing.
Why?
Just didn't.
Just didn't have a honeymoon?
No.
Did anyone ask why you didn't have a honeymoon?
No.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it all just felt so normal because that's what life was. Like,
Yeah.
you just felt like, it was just like a question in my mind. Oh, is this just what's normal? Maybe this is life. This is normal. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe life's not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. Maybe your relationship's not as good as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It just seemed, yeah.
What things can you recall from the wedding day?
I recall that he read a speech out that he got from the internet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can you remember any of the speech?
It was so good that it was so bad.
Oh, really?
It was so good that it was so fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did it say? Can you remember?
No, I can't remember, but I know that my sister had said that has definitely come off the internet.
Yeah.
Like, we had that conversation that had come off the internet. Yeah.
Oh, I wish you could remember anything he said.
Yeah, no, just what you would expect someone to say
Yeah.
at a wedding, but that was not him at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How was your mum and your family during the wedding? Were they happy for you?
Yeah, I suppose everyone was just maybe putting on a brave face.
Yeah. But did they not, with the raid and everything else, did your mum know of all these like cheating situations, that the police cell issue and all
Yeah.
of that?
Yeah, she was there, wasn't she? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did she not think that
I
this
suppose
is the
it's
right
like,
relationship?
but it's
for you
one of
to
those
be in?
things, isn't it? Like, she knew that my mum had been in a situation very similar, like not in the sense of someone being with a liar, and my aunt and people around her would tell her to leave him.
Yeah.
And I think that my mum was old enough and wise enough to know that you can't tell someone to leave.
Yeah.
It has to be something
But
you
she's
do
your
on your
mum.
own.
But she's your mum though.
Yeah, but
Surely
then she didn't
should try
want
and
to
help
push. It was
you.
a very much a situation of that if she pushed me away, then I was in the arms. I think my mum done her best to keep me on side because I'd already lost my friends. Family was the one thing I needed,
Yeah.
and if you say to someone, no, don't be with him, then the only thing you're going to do is isolate that person.
Yeah.
And I think that in that sense, she's done the complete right thing to keep in my life because, yeah, I was quite a throwaway person where I could have easily been like, no, stop doing that.
Yeah. Fair enough. Was there anything else you recall from the wedding? Can you remember the first dance? Can you remember the meal? Can you remember the party afterwards?
No,
Was it a busy wedding? Was there lots of people there?
not really, because I didn't really have any friends.
No.
No.
So who did you invite?
Baby mum friends that I'd made.
Yeah.
He had quite a few of his friends, obviously family. And that's pretty much it. It was quite small.
What was his relation like with his family?
pretty bad, really. Rubbish relationship with his mum
Yeah.
and with his dad. Yeah.
Were they both there at the wedding?
Yeah.
How were they?
I don't really remember.
No.
No, I really recall not much about the wedding at all.
So did you get married on like a Friday or a Saturday? Can you remember? Or was it midweek?
It was the day after Boxing Day.
So the 27th of December.
Yeah.
So how was like? Can you remember Christmas Day and everything before then? Before the wedding? No. You're rubbish at the moment. What's going on?
No, I don't remember. I very vaguely remember my every day-to-day life with him. It's the only bit, like, if you got to remember, this was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So for everything that I remember in it is the highest points of what really...
Yeah.
What were really bad moments. So, yeah, generally talking about my relationship, that's a hard thing for me to do, because I feel like when you've been in a relationship like that, you tend to put it to the back of your mind.
Yeah.
You don't remember that. You don't remember those times.
No. So after the wedding,
Yeah.
after this amazing fairy tale wedding,
Yeah.
what happened next?
So after...
Do you remember New Year or anything like that after the wedding? Because obviously it's a couple of days after.
No.
No.
No. Don't remember.
So what's next after the wedding?
So after the wedding, he didn't get to go to Vegas.
Did he have a stag do?
No.
He didn't have a stag do?
No, but he wanted to go to Vegas.
Did you have a hen do?
Yeah, I went to... I just went out in London.
Yeah.
No, he must have had a stag do. But I can't remember what he done.
No.
No.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think it was like crap. I think it was just local, sort of, with his mates. I don't think he could go away because he maybe was... No, I think he could go away. But yeah, no, he didn't. But the next part of the story, really, of like moments that I really remember, was the Vegas trip.
The Vegas trip. So when did this happen, the Vegas trip?
So the Vegas trip, so we got married in the December, and the Vegas trip must have happened around about March time.
Yeah.
So he had said to me that he wanted to make a protein brand.
Okay.
And that in order to do this, he needed to go to China.
Yeah.
To go to meet the people that make the protein so that he could buy it in bulk.
Yeah.
And if he'd source that person himself in China, then he'd get a better deal.
Yeah.
And know what's going into it and stuff like that.
Yeah. So what did you think to this?
I thought, okay, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine. Yeah, I thought, okay, it's a good idea. Like brilliant. You're going to do something that's more legit. Like, that's quite a good idea. So off he goes to...
Do you have a name for these? The
no,
protein?
no. Oh. And I think it was because that guy had done the protein thing. The one from Canby.
The guy I know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's when he got that idea in his head. Like,
oh,
okay. So because I knew that other guy had done it, I thought, okay, sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
And he owned a gym at this point, so he'd bought a gym.
Yeah.
And little things were going a bit more legit for him. So I was thinking, okay, you've got your own gym now. You're going to buy protein. You're going to sell it at the gym. It's all sounding.
How long did it take before? Do you remember him talking about buying? You know, when did that first conversation come up that he was going to buy a gym? How long did it take?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't really get involved in his. He didn't involve me in anything to do with his work. We lived very separate lives.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had arranged his trip to China. So off he went to China. Rang me when he was there. No problems. Like, I asked it, like, obviously I would ring him in China times, work it out, and he'd be answering the phone to me, and everything was, was good.
How long was he there for?
He was there for a week.
Yeah.
And yeah, never really thought anything of it. Like, off he went to China. But once he'd split up, my sister had completely told me a completely different story. So when me and him split up, my sister came forward and said to me, "Oh, like, I've got something to tell you. I didn't want to tell you back then because I didn't think you believed me."
Yeah.
So she said to me, her boyfriend would look after his website. So her boyfriend had gone onto the emails and had seen that he had booked, like, in his inbox, that he'd booked flights to Vegas.
Right.
So then he knew the times when he said he was going to China, and then my sister's boyfriend had started questioning Nick on everything. What airport did you land at? Like, oh, what food did you go to? Like, he knew everything. My sister said he didn't not know an answer. He had every answer going. Like, so he'd researched this.
So he'd researched China even though he wasn't even going to China.
Yeah. So
he'd gone to Vegas.
He'd gone to Vegas for a week. Yeah, and told me that he'd gone to China, and I was like muggy enough to not think that, oh well, yeah, this is like brilliant.
So when he come back from China,
yeah,
do you remember any conversations you had with him about the protein or anything?
Yeah, like, and he would just, if he it was like he worked it all out. He got what he wanted.
Yeah. Did he ever do anything with the protein brand? Did that go anywhere?
No. But then it was very quick after that we split up.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the protein brand came with him sort of getting the gym. So everything sort of started from that January after we'd got married. He hadn't had the gym before we got married. So everything, all this happened after we got married. So he got to the gym, and I had made friends with a girl at the gym. I'd made friends with a girl at a baby class, and got her a job at the gym.
Yeah.
And this was like really where the relationship came to an end.
Yeah. Because I know there's another trip to Vegas that we've spoke about previously before where he stayed longer because he apparently got a modelling contract.
Oh my god, yes. I forgot this trip.
This is brilliant.
Oh my god, this was his stag do.
This was his stag do?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Okay, you reminded me of this.
Okay, so this is the stag do, so we're going back to the stag do.
So we're going back to the stag do. So before we got married, so he went to Vegas with all his friends.
Yeah.
And he was there for a week, I think. And at the end of the holiday, he said to me, oh, like, Alex, his friend, has become very poorly.
Yeah.
And because all his other friends have work jobs to get back to, that he's going to stay with Alex. It wasn't even like, can I? It was, I'm going to stay with Alex. Everyone else has like work to get back to. Not that you have a family and a child to get back to.
Yeah.
Like, that just didn't even
How long was he in Vegas for at this point?
He'd been a week, yeah.
So he'd been in Vegas a week at this point as well.
So Alex had got ill, and they had to stay another couple of days.
Yeah.
So in this time, Alex miraculously got better within about a day.
Yeah.
They'd hired a Cadillac and drove from Vegas to California.
Really?
Yeah.
What was wrong with Alex?
I don't know. He just came over ill and he couldn't fly.
Right. But a trip to California really spruced him up.
Yeah, exactly. Get a bit of sun, wind in his hair.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the Cadillac.
How did you know they hired a Cadillac and drove to California?
He told me.
He told you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No shame.
No shame. Yeah. So he'd gone to California because he couldn't get a flight home straight away. So I think he had another week there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he had gone to California and made the most of, obviously, the time that he had.
Yeah.
And in this time, he rung me and he said to me, I've been on the beach. I've been on the beach and someone said to me, "Oh, you've got a good body. Do you want to do some modelling for us?" Never seen a body like this in America.
In California,
In
on
California,
Muscle
Muscle Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently he was getting paid, I don't know, I think he said like $3,000 for this photo shoot.
Right.
But he said to me, "I'm going to have to come home and fly back because they don't want me now, they want me in a week's time."
Wow. So he flew back.
So he flew back.
What did you say to this modelling thing?
I just didn't believe it at all.
No.
I got to the point where I was like, literally, like, this is far-fetched.
Yeah.
Did not believe it at all. I was like saying that there's not a body. Like, I knew I was into the gym. Like, I was very into Amanda Latona, like, who was a big body fitness woman from LA. Like, I knew a lot about the fitness industry at that point. Like, I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
So it really did sort of like, play my mind. And I said to him, "I'm not happy with it." Like, I said, I don't want him to go. And he said that he needs the money and that he needs to go. And he literally didn't give me a choice, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we argued about it, like, a lot. And then he went back the following week.
So
he stayed there for a week.
So he'd been out there for however long in Vegas.
Yeah.
Then spent a few more days.
Yeah.
Driving up to
California.
sunny California.
Came back for a week and then went back to California for this photo shoot for a week.
Did you see any of the pictures?
No, I said to him, like, and he said, "No, they're exclusive."
They're exclusive.
They're exclusive. Never once saw these pictures. But yet again, at the end of the relationship, someone told me that he met a girl in Vegas.
Really?
And he went and stayed with her for a week in California. Alex went home.
Really?
Yeah.
God, that's a proper double life stuff, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gone out and just stayed with a girl in California, supposedly for a week, whatever.
Yeah, and then went back, and then had to go and see her again. Do you know, he's that desperate to go and see her again.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What was he like with his phone? Was he secretive with it?
I guess he was secretive from the beginning, so nothing ever changed.
Yeah.
So it was never like he was completely faithful and then stuff changed. Like, if you changed, I'd know.
Yeah.
But because he was always like it, there was never any changes. And he just had loads of different phones. So he could have given them any number.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even known he had the phone.
Yeah.
And then he was also so good at lying that whoever was on the other end of the phone would have had there would have been a story on why he worked nights, or, do you know what I mean? He can't answer his phone at night, and then he would go out in the day and probably speak to them all day.
Yeah.
Because he didn't speak to me in the day. So, yeah, just that the life that I had with him probably fitted with that, being able to do that, but he managed to do it somehow.
Yeah. So, what happened when he come back from? What point was this Vegas trip and then this California trip? What point of this? You know, what stage in the year was this? Have you got married in December? When was this?
I think it was like the October.
Really?
Yeah.
So literally 2 months before the wedding.
Yeah, and then obviously he got back, and then we also had the
chasing a girl halfway around the world.
Yeah, that, and then obviously I had the Ivory Rooms, like, pretty much quite quickly after that as well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Jesus. So.
Like, you got to remember, all this stuff happened within like 3 years.
Yeah.
So all these big events took place.
It's like one a week.
I know, crazy. It's draining. Drains you talking about it.
So let's fast forward then. So after the wedding, he's got the gym, and you've made a friend at Baby Mums and Babies Club.
Yeah. And she worked at La Senza.
La Senza, what was La Senza?
La Senza was like a lingerie
shop.
I
remember. That's not still around though, is it?
It went under when I was friends with her, and she wanted to work, so she...
What was she like when you met her?
just like a sweet girl, really.
Yeah.
Just she had a child the same age and a partner and had a flat, and it was quite pleasant. So I said to her, oh, like, Nick's got a job in the gym, like, do you want to, like, have a job there? And she said, yeah, like, she would like to do that. So she started working at the gym, and very, very quickly when she started working at the gym, mine and Nick's relationship changed, like, massively.
How did it change?
He just felt distant, like, as much as our relationship was not the most loving relationship, there was something distant about our relationship, and he would want to. So she worked on a Thursday, and he wanted to work on that Thursday, like, and it was the evening slot as well, and he would work like later than normal. And I think one evening, very quickly when she started working there, something went wrong with the electrics, and he needed to sort the electrics out on the night that she worked there, and it just, my gut just it didn't feel right.
Was she still going to the classes, the mums and babies?
I was still seeing her all the time, yeah. So
how was she with you? Did you notice a change in her behaviour?
Yeah, so quite quickly again I noticed that I went round to her house and she was working that evening at the gym, and she just couldn't really sit there and have a conversation with me.
Yeah.
It was very weird. She was very agitated and not really interested in having a conversation with me, and just wanted to get to work.
Yeah. What was she like with you before that then?
Just completely different. Like, always liked to be around me. Like, we'd always be together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a nice relationship. The girls got on and we got on, and I'd go around there for coffee, and yeah, we just chat away.
What did she know of your relationship with Nick?
So she knew, I tell her quite a lot, to be honest. I tell her that I wasn't happy and that things were difficult and stuff. But at the time, I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So like I said, after the wedding, he wanted to have a baby. So we decided together that we was going to have a baby, and yeah, I was pregnant when and yeah, she was just there as a friend, how a friend would be, I suppose.
Yeah. So how long was this going on for then? And, you know, when did you, so from when you knew things were going, or started to see things go wrong, how long was it before things really went wrong?
So
was there any other incidents like the electrics going off, or? So
he had cameras at the gym.
Yeah. And
I was at home, and he had left the cameras on the laptop at home.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, this is good. I'm going to watch the cameras, because he's not realised he's left them on. But when her shift started, literally all cameras were cut off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you not think to message or ask why the cameras had gone off?
No, because I didn't want to look like I'm just being like a sneak.
Yeah.
That I'm doing that. And also, our daughter went to bed every night at 6:30. So he sort of I didn't want to. There was no part of me that was going to go drive and see either.
Yeah.
I never done that. So he knew that I wouldn't do that as well, because I'd never done that before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then things started getting weirder with me and the girl, and I then asked her, I said to her, I gave her an ultimatum. I said, what's going on? Either you either got you're gonna work at the gym, or you're gonna be friends with me, because it was a weird vibe. So I thought if I give her an ultimatum, then I'd get a better idea of where her head's at. And she said that she's picking the gym. She didn't want to be friends with me anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that's what I found it very strange.
Yeah. Did you ask him?
I did ask him, and again, she wasn't his type, and
yeah,
all the normal malarkey, really, all the things that someone would normally say.
Yeah. Did your relationship get better or worse during this point?
our relationship continually got worse at this point. To the point where he said to me, again, that I need to go home and live with my mum.
Yeah.
So he sort of like would do the chucking out bit, so he chucked me away. So at that point when he said that, I thought, I was so angry. Like I knew, something didn't feel right. So I got my mum and I pretty much packed up the whole house and went back to my mum's, but literally left. He looked like he'd been robbed. I literally, took everything. I sort of felt like it was the end.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
So I took all my stuff and went back to my mum's.
Was he here when you was packing your stuff up?
No, he'd gone to a football match.
Oh, really?
Without me as well, which was a massive. He always wanted me to go with him.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he didn't want me to come.
Yeah.
And it just didn't sit right.
Yeah.
I never found out if she went with him or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I feel like she did.
Yeah.
I feel like that was, she went with him.
So you've packed up, you've taken everything, you've gone back to your mum's.
Yeah.
What happened then from there?
So then I was questioning him about her a lot. Like I would say to him, like, just if there's something going on with her, like just tell me, like let me know.
Yeah.
And at that point when I got back to my mum's, he was like, he was sort of saying to me that he wanted me back, but he didn't want me to live with him. But he'd invite me round. I remember going around there for like a takeaway.
Yeah.
And then I'd go home.
What was that like?
It was weird. Like,
yeah.
Obviously, we've got a child together, and he's playing this weird and like you've got like I was pregnant. Like so, you're not only that you're chucking me away. Do you know what I mean? You've chucked me away, and I'm having your baby that we decided to have.
Yeah. How far pregnant were you?
I was at that point probably like 14 weeks.
Yeah.
And then it sort of took a turn for the worse. Like it got like that situation got worse, and he said that he probably doesn't want to be with me, and it was such a weird situation. And at that point, I was like, I'm carrying your baby. Like, what am I going to do now? Like, I needed to make a decision.
Yeah.
And he sort of said he didn't want to be with me. And then I said to him, well, I'm not gonna keep the baby.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't want to have that relationship. I want to, like, if I'm with someone, I want someone to support me, be there for me, and be there for the child. And I said to him, I'm going to have an abortion, and he didn't believe me. He didn't believe that I was going to do it.
Yeah.
And the day of, so I booked the abortion, told him I booked it. Again, he didn't believe that I'd done it. He just thought I was a liar, like he was a liar.
Yeah.
And then on the day that I went to have the abortion, I rang him saying I'm having the abortion. He just ignored it. Just didn't respond. No, nothing. So yeah, I went. And it was probably one of the most horrendous days of my entire life. Because by that point I was 16 weeks pregnant, and I was just devastated by everything that's gone on. Like I just absolutely like broken and confused, and he still wasn't. I still was very much in limbo, but it did feel like it was like the right thing to do. So I had the abortion, and again, still not heard absolutely anything from him. Not one single thing, no support at all. Yeah.
Where was he though when you was doing this? Do you know?
Probably with her.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was? How can I? Oh, so you've had this abortion. What happened from then?
So then the following day he came round, like my mum's house.
Yeah.
And he could see my stomach was flatter.
Yeah.
And he knew I'd had the abortion.
Yeah.
And then he started crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told you, like, he was like, oh, I didn't think he was actually going to do it. And then it was like, again, then he was like, he wanted me back again.
Yeah.
And it was, at that point, I was so angry with him, like, fuming. And that, I don't remember too much after that. The fact, just the pure fact that I was so angry with him.
Yeah.
That he hadn't even or come with me, or, you know, we decided to have that baby together. I'd, like, support that person, even if you don't want to be with them, like, support them.
Yeah.
Not even like I hope you're okay afterwards, or like he just didn't believe me. There was just nothing. And then I still was obviously questioning the whole Lauren situation.
Yeah.
Because everything he was doing just didn't seem right. Just didn't, like, we chose to have a baby together, and he chucked me back at my mum's, and things are just weird between us. And then I got a phone call at like 6 o'clock in the morning from her partner.
Yeah.
Saying she's at his house.
Yeah.
So 7 o'clock in the morning. I think it was, we're in like around August now, so summer clothes.
Yeah.
I chucked on a maxi dress. I had some literally little plimsoll shoes from New Look. Remember the whole outfit? The colour of it. And I'd gone round his house, and my heart was like literally pounding on the way around. I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna, this is it. I'm gonna find out for sure that he's cheated on me, and I can, like, put this to rest.
Yeah.
And so I've gone down the road, and I can't see a car. She had a Mini. Couldn't see a car, and I was thinking I'm gonna see it on the way. Like, I'm gonna see it in the road. So I've gone up to his door and knocked on it like I was a policeman, because I knew the fact that he would answer if I'm boom, 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 like on the door.
Yeah.
So he's answered. He's wearing a navy blue, fluffy, fleecy dressing gown. And I said to him, where is she?
Yeah.
Like, where is she? Like, is she here? And he said, who? I was like, Lauren, is she here? And he said no. And I said to him, well, let me look round. I want to look round. So I've gone upstairs, looked around, and then I looked in the bar, looked everywhere, and like, she wasn't there. So I said to him, like, just let me look at your phone. Like, prove to me that, me and him were still having sex.
Yeah.
Like, he'd get me around his house to have sex with me, or like, and weird stuff. Like, so he's still keeping me hanging in there. So I've gone in there, and I said to him, "Oh, let me look at your phone. Like, just tell me if it's, like, if you're seeing her or not.
Yeah.
Like, I just need to know. Like, just put my mind at rest, so I don't have to be like this." And he said no. So I just grabbed his phone off him, and at this point iPhones didn't have lock and pin.
Yeah.
So I've ran down the stairs, and I'm looking at the phone, and I can see that she's messaged him saying, had a great night last night, can't wait to cook you dinner tonight. So I was fucking angry. So I've gone outside, like, I've run outside of the house. As I've run outside, he's pushed me, and I've got his phone and I've chucked it on the floor.
Yeah.
His phone smashed. And then as I fell over, my shoe came off, and I picked my shoe up, and I was just hitting him with my shoe. I was pissed off. I was fucking pissed.
And what shoes are these again?
They were just flat plimsolls.
Yeah.
So then I said to him, I left my phone in the house. So I said to him, let me go back in the house, I want to get my phone. So I've got back in the house, I'm still angry. I've smashed a photo frame in the living room, and then he's grabbed me in a headlock and, like, holding me on the sofa. And I just said to him, just let me go. I was sobbing. I was like, let me go. I just want to go home.
Yeah.
So he let me go and I've gone home. And I got home and I had all strangle marks around my neck.
Yeah.
And I told my mum, like, literally, that he'd beaten me up, like, everything that happened, really, in the whole relationship, like, more of him chasing me around the house with a gun, like, all them sorts of things, like, never told her. And she said to me, like, we need to go to the police station.
Yeah.
So off we got to the police station with my little girl, all three of us, to make a statement on him. When I went in there, they took me into, like, a room and I was saying my statement. The policeman got a call on his walkie-talkie, and he had to take it outside. So he's gone outside the room, and he came back in the room, and he said to me, "I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna have to arrest you." He's put a statement in first.
Yeah.
So I got arrested in front of my daughter, and my mum. He said to me, the policeman was really nice. He was like, "I'm not gonna handcuff you.
Yeah.
Like, just walk down with me." And
Yeah.
obviously I walked down. And the policeman said to me, like, "I'm going to try my hardest to get him arrested."
Yeah.
And he couldn't get him arrested because they believed whoever took the statement, he had a strong case against me at this point. So I was absolutely sobbing. Like, I've just never been in so much distress in my whole entire life. And I was in a police cell for 12 hours. And then I literally was like, I'm just like laying on the floor, just crying. Like, I could hear men shout, screaming. It was awful. So I've gone out and I've been interviewed by the policeman that took his interview. So he's standing there and he's sitting there and he's said to me, like, "I'm going to read you his statement." So the statement read that when I got to his house, when he opened the door, I took 3 blows to his head with the door.
Okay.
And then there's a picture of him with a bleeding head.
Okay.
Then I don't remember what else I'd done in the meantime, but I remember a picture of his back, and it was like red raw.
Yeah.
And he'd obviously, I don't know what he'd done, scraped something on his back.
Yeah.
And it just looked awful, his back.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, he was wearing a big fluffy dressing gown. Like, I was never getting that off him.
Yeah.
So I was saying to this man, like, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And then he said that I was wearing stilettos, and I took blows to the back of his head as he was running back into the house. And I said to the policeman, I'm wearing the clothes. I've come from his house.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the clothes that I was in.
Yeah.
I was not wearing stilettos.
Yeah.
But I said to him, I hit him with my shoe. Like,
Yeah.
I smashed his phone.
Yeah.
Because I just thought, I've never been in trouble. Like, the only thing I'm going to do is just tell the truth. I'm a very truthful person, and I couldn't lie to save my life. So I'd never been in trouble with the police. I didn't know to just not say anything.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, I hit him with my shoe and blah blah. And then I've gone back after that interview, I've gone back into the prison cell and just pretty much just looked upon it and thought, "Oh my God, you are such a liar." And it just confirmed, you are an absolute liar. Like, it confirmed every situation. It made me think about every situation that I've been in, and it just confirmed to me how much of a liar he was.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much that light bulb moment for me that it just was like you've lied to me our whole relationship, and you are quite happy lying. And you're quite happy lying in front of your daughter and letting her mum go through this, like, just everything. I questioned absolutely everything on that. Like,
Yeah.
it was disgusting, like, what he done to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting.
So what happened from then? So you've gone back to the cell after being interviewed, and you've read his statement. What happened from then?
So I then got so I wasn't allowed to go near him.
Yeah.
So I wasn't allowed to go near him, wasn't allowed to be around him or anything like that. And I was like, don't worry, I don't want to be around him anyway.
Yeah.
So I've come out of the cell, and even the policeman took me home because he felt bad for me.
Yeah.
So the policeman, the other policeman, he said to me, I'll take you home. So he's taken me home. And then the following morning, I'm having like missed calls.
Yeah.
And it was like no number.
Yeah.
And I said to my mum, it's got to be him. Like,
Yeah.
it's got to be him. And I said, he's not allowed to contact me. Like, why is he doing this? Like, why is he trying to contact me?
How many missed calls do you have?
Quite a few. It was on my mum's house phone as well. It wasn't
Yeah.
on my mobile, because I guess that it was easier to trace if it was on my mobile. So I ignored them. My mum said to me, like, you need to get out today. Like, get out, let's get out. I had some money that I needed to put in the bank because I'd sold a few things that me and him had, wedding ring, things like that. And I went into Rayleigh, and as I was walking down Rayleigh High Street, he was walking up towards me.
Yeah.
And my mum literally freaked out because obviously I'd been arrested like the day before.
Yeah.
My mum was like, get him away from her, like she is not, like, because my mum was so worried that he was going to come up close to me and get me arrested again.
Yeah.
But I wasn't allowed near him, but yeah, he's come to near me. So, but luckily behind me there was a off-duty policewoman.
Yeah.
So she took me into a shop, and we stayed in the shop, and she said, you need to call the police and tell them what's happened.
Yeah.
So then I've called the police, and the police have come. The police have. I was waiting for the police, and then Nick is in the shop window going, "I love you, like, I didn't mean to do that, like, I'm so sorry," like literally just like weird, like, absolute Fruit Loop, like doing this, and he's saying, I'll drop the charges, I didn't mean to do that. So then he's tried to call me again. He's like begging to talk to me. Like, I think he even emailed me through my eBay account. Yeah.
Emailed you through your eBay account?
Yeah. Yes. Please
Jesus.
talk to me. Like, please talk to me. And I think he then ended up calling my friends and tried to talk to me through my friends, and said that he was going to drop the charges, and we ended up in court, because they wouldn't drop the charges because I pleaded guilty to hitting him with my shoe.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to take that case to court anyway, just because he then dropped the charges, and I think they wanted to make a fool of him. So I'd gone to court, and they pretty much penalised him, like, for most of the stuff that was done.
What do you mean most of the stuff that was done? What were they penalising?
So he wanted his money back for his phone that I broke.
Yeah.
He wanted money back for the broken frame.
Right.
Yeah, and they said no. She said no.
I did that.
Yeah.
So did you win that case
Yeah,
then?
because my solicitor, she was it solicitor?
Yeah.
She had told them that all his charges pending from the raid, the house raid.
Yeah.
So all these charges were still pending on him. And then, yeah, I did get a criminal record because I admitted to the shoe.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything else, all other charges were dropped apart from the stuff I admitted to.
Yeah.
Annoyingly. And then pretty much came out of that situation, and then his court case was pending for the raid.
Yeah.
And he got sentenced to a year and a half in prison. At that point.
Oh really?
Yeah. He got arrested and he went to prison that day, and then he decided to put me on his call list.
Yeah.
And was ringing me, telling me that he loved me, like, please take me back, please be with me. And he was doing exactly the same thing to her as well.
Really?
Yeah, so he was ringing us both, trying to get us both, like, on board.
Yeah.
And then that evening I got a phone call from her, which was, I'm so sorry that this has all happened, and that me and Nick are together. Yeah. I literally was like, what? was I missing something? Am I missing something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that me and Nick are together and that literally they've been together for this long and blah blah blah. And I messaged her back and I was like, he's ringing me saying that he loves me from prison.
Yeah.
And then she said, oh, he's ringing me as well. And then she got the phone, like she had managed to record him saying it. I could hear him saying that he loved her.
Yeah.
And I rang him. He rang me the next time and I said to him, nah, I'm done. That was it.
And did you? He was obviously inside at this point, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So how did that go? Did you hang up the phone after that, or?
Yeah, just hang up the phone. I said to them, then we met.
Yeah.
And they like
Good timing.
pretty much, yeah, it was pretty much that was I'd already fancied you at that point. So
Yeah.
like I'd already seen you and like
Yeah.
I knew like at that point I was like, oh, there's that guy at the gym. I'm gonna see how that goes. And that's when I got really into the gym and started going to the gym once that had all happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just the start of my life really. That part, that phone call.
Yeah.
When I said, yeah, that was the end.
So did you hear from him again after any of that?
No, because obviously then I met you, and I don't know if you remember, but he had a phone call saying that I'd bet you that I was with you, and he started threatening. He made threats, and then I called the prison. And said that he had made threats, and he was not allowed to call me ever again.
Yeah.
Like my number was removed from his phone list.
He must have been seething inside at that point. That's absolutely seething.
Because he'd already. I think I followed you quite quick. He'd obviously been even though he was with Lauren, he was obviously still wondering what I was doing.
Yeah.
I think I followed you on Twitter by someone he knew about you.
Yeah.
He knew about you, and he'd questioned that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was very angry, wasn't he? That with you.
Yeah. Well, I saved you.
You did save
Saved
me.
you. Got you out of it. Well,
Yeah.
not quite, but
Yeah.
I provided this distraction for you.
You definitely did.
There we are.
That is a long, long story.
That is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was all in 3 years,
Yeah.
which is mental.
And obviously he stayed with this girl, didn't he?
Yeah, he
For
stayed
a-
with her for, must have been, what, 8 years?
Yeah.
7 or 8 years?
Yeah. And then obviously she got
She
out.
cheated
and
on
then-
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously she experienced, as you know, very much sort of similar
Yeah.
sort of circumstances, really.
Yeah.
Not surprising, to be honest.
No.
Kind of man he was.
Yeah.
But glad you're out of it.
Yeah, me too. Oh my god. It's like it drains me talking about it. It drains me. I can't believe I lived that life. Like, it feels so weird that I ever lived that life.
Yeah. Yeah, 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit longer than that almost, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
You was in that.
Mental.
But I hope you guys all enjoyed that, listening to that. Obviously, yeah, it's obviously interesting listening to it on the other end. I guess it's a bit less interesting living it.
Yeah. I don't know, it was quite interesting.
Depends what way you look at it, I suppose, doesn't it? But yeah, thank you very much for listening, guys.
Yeah, and thanks for listening to my story, because it was my life, and yeah.
Yeah, I guess this is something that people don't know. Do
No.
they? People don't hear this. People
Yeah.
don't know of this.
So when anyone ever questions that Mike is of that, that's why I get so defensive. Like,
Yeah.
that is why I protect you so much from anything like that, because I've been in that relationship, and to have someone as not kind and nice as you that I've met, it angers me, because
Yeah.
someone like him gets away with it.
Yeah.
Like, even a policeman will stand there and believe someone who's an absolute liar.
The lies that he was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why my defence mechanism comes like very high when anyone is trolling you.
I appreciate your love and support on this, and your defence. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. This obviously is the final part of Jess's DV relationship, and we'll be back next week with a new podcast. Until then, thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.